Hey everyone, it's Don, Captain Cross Stitch here, just filming today, July 1st. If you're new to my channel, welcome. This is a channel that's usually 100% about cross stitching, but sometimes I throw in a little extra at the end of other hobbies and other pursuits that I have. But today, and then if you're a returning viewer or a subscriber, you're probably wondering, where the hell have I been for the past 2 months? Because I'm usually releasing a new episode like clockwork at the beginning of every month, but I did not have one for the month of June. And some of you know because you're closer to me than others, but so I was out of action for a while. I was in the hospital again, and then so towards the end of May, I was ill. I had an infection again, different one this time. Seems like it's a different thing every year. But I had an infection in my leg. It started off as a blister or cellulitis, and then it made a blister, which then got infected. So, long story as short as I can make it, I went to the hospital after about a week of fighting it on my own at home, and I had gone to an urgent care center and they put me on antibiotics, which didn't help at all. So my wife took me to the ER on Monday, and then that following Thursday after, they did surgery on my leg to remove the infection. With great success. They then after my surgery, they did a wound care that requires this vacuum pump over the wound that helps remove drainage and whatnot, and helps facilitate healing at a much faster rate and much lesser chance of further problems with the wound and getting infected and whatnot. So then after about a week of that, they sent me to a rehab facility, which I won't name because they were not the best. Some of the people were great. My wound care nurse was fabulous, and some of my regular staff that took care of me were great, but as a whole, the facility is kind of, I wouldn't have a good review for them in some areas. So, but anyway, I was there for 2 weeks, and then my insurance said, okay, we're kicking you out, and then I went home. So for the past 2 weeks, I've had home nursing care. They come and inspect the wound and re-bandage and all that good stuff. So everybody says it looks fabulous and it's coming along fine, no issues. So today is July 1st. My intent is to return to work on July 15th, which I know that'll be a Tuesday, and that's weird, but that's the beginning of my company's pay period. So I'm not sure why they do that, other than to be stupid. But anyway, so that's that. So that's where I've been, and I've been chomping at the bit to get back on here and resume things as I have since I started this. Back in October of 2003, and this is episode 20. Woohoo! So And as you could imagine, I hadn't done much stitching through all this. But so I'm going to cover a 2-month period, even though it's more like the amount of what I did total, it amounts to what might be a normal 1 month for me. But anyway, so we'll go back to May. I started off pretty good in May. I got my book of days. And as you can see up here, you know, I started here and got to about here, and that's when I got derailed with being ill. So, and I had all these great plans to, you know, do my stickering and doodling and writing and whatnot. And, you know, like I said, I started off pretty well. I got, when I worked on Minerva, you know, I had this kind of witch here, and then my crescent moon dragon. I got a dragon, my white winter moth. So I was having a lot of fun with that, and I didn't do anything like that for June because I just wasn't here to do it, and I didn't really see the point in going back to do it. But anyway, which reminds me, I bought something. So I have some books of stickers and things, but I bought recently, it just came Sunday, I got a package. So there's a company called Paper Gleam, which some of you may see them in your Facebook feed or whatever, where they offer stuff for journaling and scrapbooking and whatnot. And it had a really nice package. It was a little expensive, but I think it's worth what you spend on it. But it's got all kinds of cool stuff in there that and I intend to utilize these going forward in my book of days. But you know, they give you, you know, interesting scraps of paper and, you know, all kinds of stickers. This one would be awesome. This is going to be awesome for when I work on pretty ladies, because there's pretty ladies. Woohoo. You know, and just all kinds of things. Cause, you know, I like butterflies. If you notice, I always generally try to have a butterfly on a page somewhere. And, you know, they give you rolls of stuff and just all kinds of interesting things. So I'm happy that I got that, and I need to get that organized because there's a lot. I bought a big box of like stuff, and it's going to take a while for me to sort all that into categories. So I know where to. I have to get me a little index file to file those away into maybe like little envelopes or something. But anyway, I like that kind of stuff. Maybe I'm a little girlish in that in that respect. But anyway, all right. So so what was I able to work on? Well, only a handful of whips to start May, but then coming home, the end of June, I got back on the bandwagon and started busting some stuff out. In fact, today I'm going to have 2 finishes, not 1, but 2. So if you follow me on Instagram, or I'm on Facebook, you may have seen what the two finishes are, and I'm going to go ahead and get those out of the way first, and then I'll show you the whips, the other whips that got touched. So I'll show you the smaller of the two. Now this one, I feel like I've been working on this forever. It's a small project, but it's dense in stitches. You know, I wouldn't call it a full coverage per se, but I mean, it's one big solid object. So, so this is my Stegosaurus, one of my two favorite dinosaurs. This was from the debut issue back in the 80s of Cross Stitch and Country Crafts magazine. If you back, I forget what episode, but in one of my previous videos, I talked a bit about the designer and what she's about and her company. But this is one of the items that appeared in that magazine. So now the only thing I changed was when I got finished with this shadow underneath, there was actually a much bigger piece of a lighter gray, which was like, I guess, an additional part of the shadow. But I felt it kind of took away from it too much, so I decided to leave that one out and just went ahead and stitched the name as she had graphed it. I did change the S a little bit because she had more of an artsy looking S. More like cursive or signature S. But anyway, that's the only changes I made, but all the other colors are as charted. And I did this on a piece of fiddler's cloth, I believe it was, that I had. I got it from, I don't know, Joann's or Michael's someplace years ago. So, and I'm sure most of you heard that Joann's went under. My local store closed, which is sad because I used to get a lot of my floss there, but I had changed that in recent months to Hobby Lobby because their prices at Hobby Lobby were much better. I mean, they're like 53 cents a skein compared to 65, 67, 70 cents at other places. Anyway, so that's one of my finishes. And then this next one, I'm super excited about because I wanted to finish this in time for the Grace Notes retreat, which is coming up in about 5 weeks, 6 weeks, in August, early August, yeah, August 8th through 10th. It's going to be super cool to go for my third straight year there. I've been to this, and this is their third time doing it. So I've been to every one, and I hope to continue that streak. But anyway, I'm excited. So this was a design from, I'll just show it to you. So this is, you've seen this spotlighted in past episodes. It's called Key to My Heart from Tempting Tangles Designs. Designer is Deborah Dick. She's the owner and designer and everything. She does just about everything. Wonderful lady. And But anyway, I had this at about 75% for the longest time, but then when I was in the rehab place, my wife was like, "Do you want me to bring you something to stitch on?" And I said, "Yeah, bring this." So I did start working on it there. Initially, I had tried, but when I first got there, I was still in a kind of weakened state. I couldn't, my muscles had kind of atrophied a little bit. So after the first week or so, they had me doing rehab, like physical, lifting weights and whatnot, to kind of bring me back from total atrophy. And yeah, so, but initially my hands shaked so bad because I was just weak. I couldn't even thread the needle. So I put it aside for a week, and then the last couple of days I was there, I was able to start up. And then once I got home, I banged that out real quick and finished it. So I'm happy with that. Everyone that I've shown it to, they're like, "Oh, that's amazing. Who is that?" And that fabric choice is really good because it's that this strawberry latte from Grace Notes Fabrics, a 14 count. This is I did a 14, so it's not a huge design, but it is intricate. There's a little bit of back stitching and these little swirls and line looking things. And there's the key right there, if you didn't notice it before. So like I said, I'm very happy with that. I'm hoping to get a frame and mat for it soon, in time to take it with me to Grace Notes Retreat. And I'll be putting that on the brag table. So yay, my first 2 finishes of the year. And that brings me to a third one, which if I had tried a little harder, I could have gotten it done on time, but I was just like, I'll pace myself, so I'll have a finish for next month. But, so another piece that, another whip that I worked on. In case you were wondering about this bag that I had the key to my heart in, little lovebirds, and there's some more of that on the inside. But this bag was from Goose Design on Etsy, so check them out. Alright, so this is a recent whip that I've been working on pretty much the past few since the late last week, I guess. And I'm very close to finishing it. But this is called the Founding Promises from Silver Creek Samplers. So it's another small design, not complex at all. There's little to no back stitching. I think the only back stitching is the crack in this bell down here. So you can see I've gotten this whole left side from the D over done. The flag is done except for the white in the stripes. I still got to do that, but I've done the shadow in the different folds. I got to finish filling in the letters for freedom And then across the bottom here on both sides of the bell is like a little vine with some leaves. So, but it shouldn't take long to knock that out. The pain in the butt will be doing all this white. I hate doing white, especially large quantities of it. And that's in my my patriotic theme bag from Black Cat X Stitchery. Some stars, Starfield in the inside. So yeah, so that should be a finish come next episode. Okay, so that takes care of like the tail end of my sickness period of the last 2 months. I want to go back to the beginning of May, what I worked on then, before I fell ill, which wasn't much. I mean, granted. So this next one is The White Winter Moth by Kathy Barrick. Such a cool design. But I think, as I've told you in the past, that looks like a small thing, but it's not small. It's not huge, but it's not small. So this is all I have done. I've got the body, the moth, and the start of the wings, and a couple of these kind of Quaker-like designs here. And this is in my, I think it's supposed to be butterflies, but to me they look more like moths, but that's in my bag of insect moth-like creatures. And this was from Shiva Designs. Melissa, thank you as always. I can't wait to see you again in a couple weeks. And then another thing I worked on, I really need to get a proper bag for this, because I hate these. I really hate these cheap. Might not be able to get it out. All right. This is Minerva by Nora Corbett, who I'm going to hopefully see in October at the Queen City Stitch Retreat in Charlotte, North Carolina, the home state of my mom and all my relatives. Not that any of them watch, but I'd say howdy to all my cousins and whatnot that are still living. My cousin Shirley, she's a beautiful cousin of mine. And this is so you can kind of see the shape, or see it taking shape. You can see the pointed hat on her head and the hair trailing behind, and the top half of her gown or dress, whatever you want to call it. And this is being done on a fabric called Iced Coffee. I always forget the name of the fabric company. Seems like my paper with the fabric has disappeared on me. Huh. That's weird. I wonder where it would have went. Well, anyway, I'll look for it later. So that's that. And then the only other whip is the ever popular my dragon project, my crescent moon dragon. And this bag is from Pinky Promises on Etsy. That's the what it'll look like hopefully when I'm finished, if I ever get finished. I forgot that was in there. That goes in the hall. Sorry I'm taking so long, but I gotta open this up. Alright, so I'm done with the head finally, with the exception of there's a little black and gray in the eye and the nostrils, but that's like about 4 stitches total. So I'll get to it at some point, but I'm not too worried about it. When I start doing back stitching and all that, that's when I'm going to fill that in. So, but I'm filling in this brown in the wing here. So this is the wing in the back, and then you can see as I pull back, you can see the other big wing that'll be the next thing I tackle. I'll move the hoop over to fill in that giant wing in the front. And then from there, I'll move down to the lower body and start working on the tail, because there's a long tail that winds all over the place. But hopefully, once I get this first wing done, there's some sparkly cryonic that goes in here, and it's like around the background of it. So that'll be my first time using cryonic, so I'll be interested to see if I struggle with that or not. A lot of people don't like to use it, and I think I understand why, but you know, everybody is different, so we'll see what happens. So that is that. And that's being done on 14 count Barbara from Grace Notes, if I remember that correctly. So yeah, I'm happy with how that's looking. Okay, so that's it for whips. I'm sorry I don't have more to show you, but you know, since I've been out of action for the last, well, 2 months, for the most part. Sorry. I feel like there's something on my face. I shaved earlier, and I think I always feel like, you know, I missed the spot or something. But anyway. So what do I have left? I have some haul, believe it or not. It all stems from, I had ordered stuff prior to me getting ill. So when I was in the hospital, my wife was like, well, you got a package from 123 Stitch. Do you want me to bring it up to you? And I was just like, no, it can wait. You know, I'll give me something to look forward to when I get home. Little did I know I was going to be another 3 weeks. But, so yeah, so I had some stuff to show. I'll start off with some stitchy kindness that I got from somebody at one of my stitching groups. I didn't know this was a series until she brought it up, which is kind of a funny back and forth. So the one group that I stitch with, it's always the 3rd Saturday of the month. We jokingly call ourselves the enablers because a lot of that goes on when we get together. And this past meeting with them 2 Saturdays ago was probably our biggest turnout we've ever had. We had 16 people, and we always meet at Panera, and we always grab this big table in the back, but we always end up having to pull additional tables, smaller tables from around us and putting it on the end. So we have this big long caterpillar kind of centipede, whatever you want to call it, of tables, and we filled them up, and we had to add tables 2 or 3 times to get everybody seated. But anyway, one of my favorite people, fellow Floss tuber, Hannah Dowling, was present, and I had originally gotten her into the company Cottage Garden. Well, I didn't get her into it. She had already was into it, but because of my habit of collecting a series within a company, she started buying their Songbirds Garden series, and this is number 10. Now, I didn't realize that this was a series, and I probably should have, since I have a thing for birds. So anyway, she had accidentally ordered 2 of these, I guess one at different times, and didn't realize it. So she gifted this to me. So thank you, Hannah, dear. I appreciate it. Now I have to get the other 11. And but this is yeah, it's a finch. Yeah, it's a finch. So that's pretty cool. So I got that. And then one thing I did buy while I was in the hospital, looking at Facebook on board one day, Corinne at Grace Notes Fabrics, she sometimes posts, I guess, odds and end pieces of fabrics they need to get rid of, or they want to get rid of, or there was something that was misdyed, or what have you. But so sometimes they have those, and this kind of, I don't know if it's a one-off or it was just a screw-up or something, but they affectionately call them mystery fabrics because they're not sure, I'm assuming, they're not sure of the formula that they use to get this particular color scheme. But anyway, it's a beautiful piece. So it's a kind of a rose purple mix. And it happened to be in the count that I love, my 14 count Ada jam. So I said, I want that. And she's like, it is yours. So there you have it. And that shipped with, and the fun thing about me being gone too, if there is a fun thing, I got now I had 2 shipments of mystery fabric, fabric of the month to share, since I would have shared one last month's video, but since I wasn't here. So this first one, oops. Oh, what's going on here? Okay. So this first one is from May, and it's called Palomino. It's like a light cream color. I think it's about the easiest way to describe it. It's a little bit of modeling, but not super heavy. It's very subtle, which is nice. If you have a delicate piece that you want to do, and you need that kind of color in the background, that'll work for you. And they always send a little sticker, a little sunshine. Ooh. Hey, look, the sun's out. I'm sorry, I'm a goofball. I'm not sorry, I'm just saying I'm feeling pretty good. Probably the best I've felt in a while. Oh, and that reminds me, and so another thing is I'm off sugar. Not 100%. I mean, you can't really escape it 100%. That would be hard for me. But where I can avoid it, I'm avoiding it. So I'm not. My soft drinks are sugar-free. I've been buying for snacks, because I'm a cookie person. So I've been buying sugar-free cookies. Which they're not low in calories or anything like that, but calories aren't my problem. I actually don't eat enough, to be honest, because I've lost weight. Since I've been ill, I had lost about 25 pounds at least. You can see my bony shoulders. But yeah, I'm eating sugar-free cookies. There's 2 good companies. Murray is one, and what's the other one? I forget the other ones I've been eating. But anyway, they both got a variety of sugar-free cookies, which are really good. And why can't I remember that other company? Brain fog. But I'm feeling better. I'm healing well, and I'm off the sugar. I still drink fruit juice, but that's usually just to take my pills and to wake me up in the morning. I have protein drinks that I've been supplementing my diet, which is high in protein. Because protein is the healing beneficiary to healing is protein. So then the June fabric of the month was Angelite. It comes out gray in the camera, kind of model gray, but it's really kind of like a bluish gray, almost like a stone. It looks kind of like stone, but like I said, it's definitely maybe even a tinge of, just the lightest tinge of green in there too. I'd be interested to see what the formula was for that, to get that color, but it's a beautiful piece. So I'm starting to get a nice collection, so, because I'm 6 months in on the fabric of the month for the neutrals. I get the neutrals. I'm not against the other one. I just can't really. I guess I could afford it probably, but as of right now, I'm kind of taking it easy. I mean, it was a commitment to get this, and I just wanted to start getting, you know, a stash of neutrals, you know, so something I could just go through and, you know, have plenty of choices to do just about anything. Granted, special projects for something large, I'd have to order a special piece, but generally most of the stuff I do will fit on a fat quarter, which is what I get. Okay. So I got another bag. I ordered another bag from my favorite bag person, and that's Melissa at Shiva Designs. She got me this. I bought this beautiful bird bag for that special project. Which I haven't started because I'm behind the 8 ball, but I'm not worried about it. I'll do it at my own pace. For the Extraordinary Birds stitch along. So now I have a bag to put everything in, and I have all the stuff I need. I got the fabric, the recommended fabric is in here, the sandbar, and then all the threads are in here. So basically, I think I'll be starting this soon. I don't doubt that I will start it. I got something, but I meant to open it, but I didn't. Let me. I meant to open this ahead of time, forgot. It'll be a surprise to both of us. Oh, come on. Whoa. All kinds of stuff falling out here. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so what I was opening was the 2026 keepsake calendar, which I get every year, whether I want it or not. It's like once you get on that mailing list, they just, as long as you keep paying for it, they'll keep sending you one every year, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. I actually enjoy the surprise of getting it, you know. But anyway, it's got some interesting pieces in here. Well, let's take a look. Yeah, they got some good pieces. So I obviously won't show you the charts, but I can show you pictures of all the different months. Starting with December of this year, January, February, March. That's cute. I like that. It's very winter themed. They always have at least one I want to do, but there's only ever been one that I actually kitted up, and I never did it. Here we got April, May, June, July. I don't like cutesy stuff like this, but it is nice. That's a nice design. Oh, I forgot the one in the middle. June is tiny. It's a ship in a bottle. That's actually pretty cute. That'd be a nice small project to do. And then September through December. That's kind of neat. That's not bad either, really. I think I would have to change the color of that witch though. It's kind of pale looking. Anyway, so that's the keepsake calendar for 2026, and they always send you a pocket calendar, which I have the last many years worth, which I've never used. I mean, it's nice. I don't really have, I mean, I have enough. I need larger calendars because I tend to write. It's kind of funny. When I was young, I could write so small. I would write tiny, and people would say, "You need to write bigger." Well, now that I'm older, I have to write bigger because my hand isn't necessarily as steady or as able to be as precise. So I write bigger and sloppier than I ever did. And my handwriting used to be immaculate. Yeah, I printed everything. I didn't like cursive, so. All right, so my last bit of haul. This is actually the package I was talking about that arrived just after I was hospitalized. From 123 Stitch. All right, and so speaking of that series with the songbirds, I had started ordering them prior to that, and I got the series number 1, the lovebirds, the cardinals. Yeah, that'll be nice to stitch. That won't take too long. And I told you I had a thing for birds, right? Oh, I almost forgot. So these next two designs are from Lindy Stitches, and if you don't know, so they have events that they're now doing, at least for this year, they're doing 4 times a year. Coming up this month in July 19th and 20th, they have their Midsummer Stitch event. It's a live 2-day event online, and tickets are on sale. I would suggest getting them right away. This will be my first time attending. I've been wanting to go to their Jingle Ball, but I always manage to remember it or find out about it literally like the day it's going on. So I'm like, okay, so I missed the spring event for the same reason. Like, I found out about it and it was going on the weekend that I found out about it. So I was like, well, I'm not going to that one. I was like, well, I need to sign up for, so I signed up for their newsletter. So now I get, all kinds of emails, telling me about it. And so as soon as I found out about this one, I was like, okay, the date works. I'm doing it. So I'm ready to go. In a couple weeks, I'll be attending the virtual event, and I'll let you know next month's video how it went and what I thought about it. But anyway, I got 2 new charts from them. This one is called Birds to the Boughs. That's just, I love the colors in that. And then another one from Lindy Stitches called Stars Bright. More birds. I don't know what kind of birds those are. Like, almost look like quails. I don't know. That's right. Guess what? We got more birds. This is from Talon Emblem, one of their tiles designs. Another cardinal. Cardinals and blue jays, they're my jam, but I like most birds, especially if they're colorful. All right, and then I got my obligatory Bella Filipina, the Amphitrite Queen Goddess of the Sea. That'll be fun to do. That's really colorful. I'm getting a pretty good collection of those. I mean, that's, for me, that's half the fun is just collecting them all. I've got about half of them, believe it or not. So I'll just keep plugging away. I've gotten most of the early ones, the 1 through 20. So I'm not too worried about not being able to get some of them, but I didn't wait around. I got the early numbers first just to get them out of the way in case they start suffering from mirabilia syndrome, where, you know, they start not having them in print anymore or what have you. So, which is a shame, because then then it's like people who want stuff, they can't get them because they're out of print, and then, you know, you go on eBay and people want $400 for something else, like, you know, for a piece of paper. Come on, it's ridiculous. I mean, you know, I'm willing to shell out, you know, if I have the money, I'd be willing to shell out as much as $40 to $50 for something if I really wanted it, but I'm not paying $400 for it, even if I had the money. That's just stupid. Okay, then my obligatory Mirabilia, which, you know, I'm also semi-collecting, but there's so many of those, I'm just like, I'll get what I can get and then be happy with that. So I got the Peridot Fairy. This is, I guess this is those, I guess, are they part of the, is that like a gemstone series or something? I'm not sure. But anyway, it was one that I knew I didn't have, so, and it was cute. Love those wings. And then I got two items from Twin Peak Primitives, which I had never bought anything from before. I got the Thanksgiving Quaker, because I'm a Quaker fan, both the design and the people. So that'll be a little time consuming. There's a lot of small things to do, so at least you can do them, you know, little bits at a time. Let's start in the middle and get those pilgrims done. And then another one from them, I got the Betsy Ross Quaker, which I'm also a patriotic stitcher fan. You know, so I'm trying out companies that I know are big enough and they're successful. So that's, I think, one thing I want to try and do in the coming year for 2026 is pick some projects by companies I've not stitched before. So that's why I'm picking up some patterns from, you know, well-known companies but I'm like, well, you know, I never bothered to look at them, to be honest. So that's that. So that's my haul. So, oh, excuse me. Oh, I must be boring myself. Anyway, so we're coming up on about an hour. I didn't think I'd take that long, but anyway. So what do we got coming forwards for the month of July? Well, some more patriotic stitching. I'm going to finish off the Founding Fathers. I'm trying to think if is there any other like typical stitching thing for July? Oh, Christmas in July. That's the thing. I've never done a Christmas project, so I have one that I have everything but the floss, and it's one that I've shown in the past. It's the Santa's Fable and Fantasy that was in an issue of Country Cross-Stitching Country Crafts from years ago, back in the 80s, that I specifically fellow floss tuber Rosanna Bright and Dusty, she did it, and she did a fabulous job on it, and I think it's a beautiful piece, and I'll have fun doing it because, again, you can do it, and you can do a Santa at a time, so it's not overwhelming, you know. And it's kind of a sampler style. It's got, you know, border at the top, border at the bottom with little motifs and whatnot. It's a little intricate. Each Santa design is busy. I don't have it handy, or I'd show it to you. But I've showcased it several times in past videos, so check them out. So I've been trying to. I have several projects that I've kitted up everything but the floss. So I'm trying to get my floss together for several projects. That I kitted up the fabric for at Grace Notes last year, and that's another thing. I think the next time, yeah, it'll have to be next time, because the retreat will be here right after my next video. But every year I take a dozen projects with me to retreat to buy fabric for, specifically for those projects. So then when I go home, I have what I think is the hardest part, is getting fabric together for a project. So I'm going to do the same thing I did last year. I did that last year. And there's 4 remaining projects. One of them is the Santa's project. So maybe I'll start that as well. In the coming month. And then, of course, you know, I mean, we'll talk about it more next month's video. But yeah, I'm super excited again to go to Grace Notes. I'm hoping not, you know, you meet so many nice people, and you wanna be social with all of them, and I'm not sure where I'm going to sit this year. The first year was great because I didn't really know anyone, and I sat with a great bunch of people. But our table kind of fell apart last year. Only 3 of the other 7 were in attendance, and one was at one table, and I was with the other 2 at another table, and they were not there a lot of the time. They would get up and go wherever they would go, and so I mean, there were other people that I met at the table who were really nice, but again, a lot of people were up and gone a lot. So a lot of the times I found myself sitting at the table by myself, like for hours at a time, and that was no fun. I'm being honest about it. I like the social interaction, you know, talking about yourself or stitching stuff, you know, what have you. So I don't know. I don't want to make any promises as to where I'm going to sit. I think I'm going to just walk around, and if I get a vibe from people that says, "Hey, come sit with us. We want to interact with you," I think I might do that. No offense to whoever, because I already, you know, I don't know about who else is coming that I've sat with in the past. My dear friend Dana has told me that she's not going to make it for personal reasons, and I understand what they are, and that's perfectly understandable. She's got a lot going on, but I miss her dearly. And if you see this, Dana, I love you. I hope you know, everything is okay as much as they can be. So, but you know, I'm going to miss her, but I will, you know, I'll have a great time anyway. I'm going to be very interactive with people as much as I can. So that's really about all I have for this episode, even though it's been 2 months since I've been here, but yeah, I won't. So next month, I guess I'll be talking more about what I hope to. I think I'll have those projects set aside that I'm going to take by then. I'm going to go through all my stuff to see what I want to try and kit up for next year, and so that'll be something to look forward to in the next video. The Grace Notes Retreat Prep episode. All right, folks, I will catch you next time, and as always, keep on stitching. This is Captain Cross Stitch signing off. Take care. Goodbye.